I would love for you to sit down and have a conversation, interview with a vampire style with your future self, your desired self. There are a million insights and realizations and shifts that will come through that. Right now, I feel like I am being mentored by future versions of myself. And it all happened as a consequence of me asking them for help. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. But of course, first we have to have this lead in. Hi, thank you for listening. You're listening to Naked and Noisy Manifestation Tools, excuse me, for the professional woman. I am your host, Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach in my business and on my platform. I help professional women to co-create emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven lives for themselves. So recently, I made my previously public, well, I guess I didn't have to say that. I made my public professional Instagram private. And I made my Instagram private after I got tired of the level of likes that I was getting on my posts compared to the number of people who watch my story every single fucking day. It's just absolutely ridiculous, right? And I've done, well, an email that has to go out to my community at some point, but I did like a YouTube post talking about it. And I feel that we've talked about this before. I've done posts about it probably like last year or the year before that, where it's like, I'm not somebody who really gives a shit about the likes because I'm a vibrational match to money and sales. So regardless of whether or not somebody is liking the post, I know that I am making money. It wasn't that I felt like nobody's liking my post, nobody's supporting me, and now I can't succeed. It just felt like, well, what the fuck are y'all doing here? Why be here? Why be in the vicinity? It didn't feel like I won't be able to win if they don't. It didn't feel like that at all. It just felt like, why the fuck are you here? Right? And God, there's so many shifts that have happened as a consequence of that one moment and that one question. But today I want to talk about this realization about like the value of my energy. Oh my God. This is one of those times, you guys, where I'm having multiple mindset shifts over the course of days and weeks. So when I come to you guys in a podcast episode and I want to tell you one thing, it's like, fuck, I have to catch you up on the million other things. It's like it's overlapping. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to communicate this to you so that you can really follow along. So we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to jump to my conversation with my future self. I was sitting on the side of my house and I was really praying for help and for guidance and to be able to see things differently because I am leveling up so much in my career right now. And what that leveling up looks like is clearing a whole bunch of space. I have gotten really serious this year about my courses, even though, like, yes, I've been selling courses and all of this stuff for like 2 years now. Well, I started selling courses like 3 years ago, and I can't say that I wasn't selling courses. I just wasn't selling courses at a price that satisfied me. So for the past like 2 years, I've been selling my courses for hundreds and thousands of dollars, and that's fabulous. But now I am really shifting into, I want to be charging, this amount, which still looks like hundreds and thousands, but it's just different, right? Like there are no payment plans on my website anymore, and that happened as a mindset shift. I might have told that story in a podcast episode that I uploaded. Sorry if I didn't. Long story short, I didn't want to deal with payment plans. I don't want to have an experience in my business where you agree that you're going to pay me $100 every 2 weeks, and then you don't pay me and your credit card defaults. And now I have to keep track of who paid and who didn't pay. And then I have to be like, okay, well, don't buy anything else from my business. But like, I don't give a fuck, and I really don't give a damn to do that, and I don't want to keep track of you, and I don't want to track you down, and like all of this other extra stuff. It just makes me feel anxious. It just makes me feel overwhelmed. I don't like thinking about my desired monthly income and being like, well, I want to get 10 pay in fulls, and then I want to get 20 people on a payment plan, and like all of this stuff. I don't feel safe and secure and stable having 20 people who I don't know, who I don't have a personal relationship with, that I am just expecting them to continue to pay on their payment plans. Now, those are all limiting beliefs that could be shifted. They are also limiting beliefs that I don't want to fucking shift. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to move into the higher level of income that I desire. I want to move into that higher level of income with ease. And I want to focus on a lot of other things. There's a lot of other shit that's happening in my career. There's a lot of other shit that just, you have to move forward on that in terms of community activism and, being of service to my community and volunteer work and developing other creative skills and doing other things creatively in my career. There's so much that's needed for me in terms of money that I want to give back, services that I want to provide, not just my time and my attention and my effort, but also my money and my finances and resources to my community. I have so many ideas, and just there's so much shit that has to be done, that this first business of mine, she needs to, like, her needs need to decrease significantly. And this is so amazing because last month we did a magical working. By the way, that will be the last magical working that we ever do in our lives. Well, I mean, not me personally, but us as a community. I will never offer another collective hoodoo working. We don't even have time for me to get into the shit that I want to get into. We don't have time for me to talk about the things that I want to talk about. Not even like it, because it's just not relevant. But just know, I really had to professionally cuss somebody out and tell them to never buy another motherfucking thing from my business again. I had to ban someone for playing in my fucking face around that collective hoodoo working, and it was just them being disrespectful and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it was the beginning of Black History Month. So let's not even go. I don't want to go there. We should never go there. Baby, I was livid, pissed off. And that's another thing that contributed to this. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what happened. Long story short. 1 second, I'm not going to tell you what happened. Millisecond later, so this is what happened. Okay, long story short, really quickly. We did the collective hoodoo working. It ended up being a working that kind of like spanned over the course of like a fucking week. So it just ended up taking a lot more time and energy and effort, but I poured a lot of time, energy, and effort into it, and it was just so fucking good, and I really enjoyed it, and I am still reaping the motherfucking benefits of that goddamn working, which somebody said that they were disappointed with because they didn't get the meditation when they thought they were going to get the motherfucking meditation. They didn't get the meditation, but they got the power of my entire motherfucking lineage. They didn't get the meditation, but they got over 5 hours of motherfucking time, energy, effort, and support. The astrological breakdown video alone was nearly 2 hours fucking long. But you were disappointed that you didn't get a meditation when you expected to get a motherfucking meditation. But when you did get the meditation, you didn't just get a random fucking meditation of me talking bullshit for 10 minutes long. You got a 15 minute meditation where I sat down and I recorded the sound of my earth frequency tuning fork so that that meditation would be grounding for you, so that that meditation would help you to feel safe and secure. There were so many little details and thoughts and intentions. Every single thing that I do is intentional. Every single time you have a conversation with me, every single time I am giving you support and advice, I am fucking better than Google. I am browsing through over 7 years of personal development work and learnings and reading books and going to workshops and taking courses. I am perusing through an abundance of fucking information, and I'm going, this is the information that will best support you in this motherfucking moment. It looks quick and it looks easy. But first of all, it's really not that, because that took a lot of time, energy, and effort. Not just the meditation in and of itself, but the working and the meditation. But me being able to say, we're going to do the earth frequency, wasn't just me thinking, it would be really nice to have an audio in the back of this meditation. I chose the earth frequency intentionally because it's grounding, because it's going to soothe your nervous system, because it's going to help your root chakra. It's going to help you calm down. And what do I always say in this podcast episode? Your nervous system is activated. What's going on with your prefrontal cortex? What's going on with the part of your brain that is able to creatively problem solve? She's not fully online because your brain is trying to get the fuck ASAP. And so there was a meditation that started off with this earth frequency. And in the audio, I'm being very intentional. You're calming and soothing your body, and you're being prepped for this energy that you're getting into. And then there's this like epic audio, whatever. That audio quality wasn't the best, but the sound was the best. So we had to sacrifice a little bit of the audio quality of the sound for the fucking meditation, like so that it could be everything that it needed to be. Anyway, it's a 15-minute meditation, but it's actually probably a 17 to 20-minute long audio. I had to upload the like original unedited audio of me recording the meditation. And then I have to sit and cut and listen and pause and replay and say, okay, you needed a little bit more space between those words. And that's a little bit too long of a gap. Let's shorten that there. I'm listening and replaying, and then I'm listening, and then I'm turning my face away from the screen so that I can hear with my ear to make sure that you can't hear the transition between the sounds and the clips and where I've moved things around. And if you got the meditation the 3 days before the whatever, like you expected to get the meditation, then you wouldn't have got that meditation, which was the meditation that was needed, because it was a meditation that came in alignment with the collective needs, which I literally put on the fucking landing page. It's a synchronization ritual. I'm responding to the needs of the fucking collective. So anyway, long story short, that shit pissed me off. It pissed me off really, really fucking bad. And that's why I love entrepreneurship, and that's why I love being a business owner. And that's actually really a part of my brand as like a luxury brand, which I am now realizing I have and I am building, which we'll literally talk more about that in like 2 seconds. You don't have to be here. You don't have to buy a motherfucking thing. When I go someplace and I don't like it and I feel dissatisfied with the service, do you know what I do? I decide not to go back. I decide not to go back. If I feel disappointed about something where I was very clearly communicated what the expectations were and what was going to be happening and when, now let's really talk about it. I said we don't have time, and we don't have time. But as I think about it, I get angry. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. What happened was this particular person, she was going to sign up for the ritual, but there was some thing that was going on with my website. I was using a different kind of form, whatever. They changed the forms and shit on the website. It's so fucking stupid. So when you originally submitted the form to join the ritual, before you had paid, the confirmation email was sent to you. Oh my God, that is not supposed to happen. So she was going to sign up for the ritual. She got the confirmation email, but then she decided not to pay. So she just had the confirmation email. So then I sent her an email saying, hey, just letting you know, I know that was probably a bit confusing. I'm sorry you were sent the confirmation email, but just letting you know you're not officially a part of the workshop. I had to change around the entire website and like all of this stuff. So if you do want to join, you can click this link, you can go here, blah, blah, blah. And then you can enroll, no pressure, whatever, let it go. So she decided to enroll not based on the landing page, but based on what was sent to her in the confirmation email, which she knew was sent during like a what was sent to her accidentally. And so the reason why I did things in a very specific way. In the confirmation email, there was a proposed schedule. You're going to get a meditation, you're going to get this, you're going to get that on this day. I very intentionally put that information in the confirmation email and not on the landing page, because what does it say on the landing page of the working? It's a synchronization ritual. The ritual is created based on the collective energy's needs. So when she signed up for the ritual, before the doors had closed, she got a confirmation email with the schedule. Could I have said that it's a proposed schedule? Could I have said that the schedule is subject to change? Absolutely sure. If I ever do this again in the future, that's what I'll put in the confirmation email. But it won't happen ever again. So who fucking cares at this point? So basically, she's expecting one thing. She doesn't get the thing that she's expecting. She's feeling really upset about it. I'm sorry that you're upset about it. I'm also feeling really irritated about it because throughout the entire ordeal, as I'm undergoing my own personal fucking transformation and I'm preparing for the ritual and all of these other things, I'm having to deal with her emailing me asking for shit. So it overall was just I can't even say it was a terrible experience. Like everybody else was lovely. But yeah, that just irritated the fuck out of me. And I was like, you know what? I actually don't have to be here, and I actually don't have to be irritated, and I actually don't have to be disrespected. And you might be thinking, if it was something as easy and simple as I'm gonna send you I don't know, what's something that you could do without a brain? What's something you could do without intention? What's something you could do without energy? What's something you could do without trying? I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I'm not a robot. And I'm not somebody who does things half-assed just so that I can say that I did something by a particular deadline. I personally don't give a fuck about a deadline. I give a fuck that when you pay me, you get something of quality, period, point blank. And if it takes me longer to give you something that is of an appropriate quality that I believe respects you and respects the money that you paid, then that's what I'm gonna fucking do. And it's not even like she had no idea that these were my views, because I spoke about it for about 2 fucking hours during the astrological breakdown. The energy of the new moon was all about slowing down. There was a 6th house stellium in this Capricorn fucking energy with Aquarius and Pluto. And it was all about slowing the fuck down and doing things the right way. Because when you do it the wrong way, or you're trying to do it too quickly, you fuck up and you make mistakes. You need to slow down and you need to read and you need to do shit the right way the first time. So I did shit the right way and I slowed down. And it was all about being tuned in, tapped and turned on to that energy of honey. So I have one perspective. I have one way of doing business. You don't have to agree with the way that I do business. I personally do business with integrity. If I am a spiritual leader and I am moving and taking you through a spiritual process, if my energy feels like shit and my vibration is low and I am not taken care of, it is irresponsible, it is unethical, literally, for me to do spiritual work for you knowing that I feel like shit. That would be like if I got drunk and I was a heart surgeon and I showed up to do open heart surgery. And I said, no, 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 I'm fine. I just had a couple of drinks. Don't even worry about it. Things might be a little bit rough in the beginning, but we'll figure it out. It's incredibly fucking disrespectful. So, no, you didn't get the meditation when you thought you were going to get the meditation, because I took my time and had my own energy and shit coming up that had to be moved through during that time and during that process. And I would do it again. I have no regrets. It was an amazing fucking ritual. It was a ritual that was so goddamn good. I am still living out the consequences of it. I am still riding the wave of the Capricorn new motherfucking moon. Because what was it about? It was about working less and making more money. It was about tapping into the energy of the version of yourself who is a fucking matriarch. And I have been receiving downloads and shifts and realizations, and things have been changing radically in my business as a consequence of the energy that was shifted and the energy that was poured into all of us. I wasn't just administering the ritual, I was participating in the ritual. I was doing the magic on me as well, right? I'm washing me and my clothes, okay? So that's my 2.5, which was kind of quick. But anyway, I basically was just like, don't buy another motherfucking thing. Like, goodbye, whatever. Because it was just, oh my God. We don't even have time to talk about all of the reasons why it was disrespectful, but just know there were a million and one different fucking reasons. I sent an incredibly long email detailing why that was so fucking disrespectful. And at the end of the motherfucking day, when you're having a conversation about hoodoo, when you're having a conversation about any sort of magical ancestral fucking practice, and somebody is doing that working for you, somebody is working with their spirits and their ancestors for you, that is such sacred fucking work. You don't get to have demands and hardcore unchangeable expectations when it comes to the fucking spiritual. The spiritual doesn't give a fuck about your timeline, bitch. Like, real shit. I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, could you fucking imagine if you went to Marie Laveau? If you don't know her, Google her. It doesn't really matter. Could you imagine if you went to fucking Marie Laveau and you're like, excuse me, Marie, all I have is $25 to my name. Because literally the person sends me a message and is like, I got this workshop and money was tight for me, blah, blah, blah. And in the email response, I literally was like, who's in charge of managing your finances? Is that me? Is that me? Who the fuck is in charge of managing your finances? You spent money when it wasn't an appropriate time for you to spend money, and then you freaked the fuck out. Whose fault is that? Whose problem is that? Who are you disappointed in? Because it really shouldn't be me. I got a long list. I'm not in the top 3 of people you should be disappointed in. Imagine if you went to Marie Laveau, said, all I have is $25 to my name. Can you please do a ritual for me to help me, blah, 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 blah. And she said, yes, okay. And then she ended up spending hours and hours and hours adding extra things to the ritual specifically for you. This woman who enrolled, quite literally, because she enrolled, added an extra inconvenience. I had to do extra steps behind the scenes because she fucking enrolled. Could you imagine if Marie Laveau took time, energy, and effort to pour energy into you, to shift things for you, and then you have the audacity to come back to her and say, Miss Laveau, I'm actually really disappointed. Because even though you spent hours doing this, and even though you spent hours doing that, and even though you did this and this and this and this and this, and even though you created personalized intentions and called on everybody's spirit team, angels, and ancestors, and even though you blah, 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 I'm really disappointed because I didn't get a 15-minute meditation sooner. Like, I can't say what I think that Marie Laveau would have done. But I can say I can't imagine that any practitioner would respond kindly to that response to their time, energy, and effort. And it does bleed into this conversation about valuing myself and valuing my energy and valuing my intention. I literally was like, that working shouldn't have been $25. It should have been hundreds of dollars, but it was the first time that I had done a working in like over a year, like 2 years. The last time I did one was in 2024. I ended up adding significantly more to this ritual. Like, there was so much that went into this shit. And it should have, it should have been a lot more money. And I don't feel regrets over it, but the way that I was spoken to over a $25 service that really should have cost significantly more just completely, like, it altered my fucking brain chemistry. And it made me say, you know what? You're so right, because the offering should have never existed. It should have never been at the $25 price point. You're so fucking right. It'll never happen again. Like, no, you got it. Exactly. Yes. Number one, you'll never have access to my energy again. Number two, I'll never offer this again to the entire fucking world. Like, good job, Diva. I'm not doing magic for any motherfucking body else. I'm not giving my magic and my energy to any motherfucking body else, because my magic works. Because my magic is real. Because to have access to my magic, because to have me praying in your favor, because to have me facilitating an environment for your growth and your expansion and uncovering your shit is a fucking honor and a privilege. You're so right. What the fuck do I look like? Giving my time, my energy, my effort, my gifts out for $25. You're so right. You're so fucking right. And so then it ends up being, that experience and that email and all of that ends up being one thing that's adding more momentum to the story in this conversation about me valuing myself. I've been doing a lot of self-worth work because, of course, we're talking about the Receiver's Mindset course, which is my course on building up your self-worth. What is your self-worth? It's how you believe that you deserve to be treated. And a part of me going deeper with my self-worth is me really reassessing my personal value, which we talk about in the Receiver's Mindset course in module 1. We're going to add more to it. We're going to talk more about it, I think, in the Matters module, which is coming. I'm not sure. But that's not even the point. The point is, I've been reassessing and re-examining and understanding my value even more. My work is a fucking gift. Being in my energy is a fucking gift. Having access to me is a fucking gift. Having me positively focused on you is a fucking gift. You're not doing me a favor by liking a post on Instagram that is putting you on game, that's helping you become the leader of your motherfucking mind so you can change your reality. You're not doing me a favor by listening to a podcast episode by a woman who has been doing personal development work for nearly a decade. A woman who has been doing work to heal from her past trauma for nearly a decade. A woman who has been learning to love herself and honor herself and respect yourself for nearly a fucking decade. A woman who has been learning how to deliberately co-create the reality of her desires for nearly a decade. You are not doing me a favor by listening to this podcast. You are not doing me a favor by clicking on a YouTube video. You're not doing me a favor by being here. You're not doing me a favor by following me on Instagram. You're not doing me a favor by being in my fucking world. You are being blessed every single time. And that really is the mindset shift that has been brewing, but really powerfully came through with that conversation with my future self. Okay, so wrapping that up. We don't have to talk about the magical working anymore. I've made all of my points. I love being an entrepreneur because I get to ban people. I get to say, no, thank you. Don't ever buy with us again, right? And when you have value in yourself, when you understand that there's value in being in your world, you get to create rules and you get to create requirements. There are rules and there are requirements. There is shit that is required to be in my motherfucking world. Everybody does not meet that requirement. I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. Everybody does not meet the rules and requirements to be in my fucking world. And it's not even just in my business life, it's also been in my personal life. We've been talking about my platonic relationships. Everything is changing and shifting. And it's not about people being bad people. It's not about any of that. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Nobody is a bad person. Nobody is unworthy of love. But everybody is not somebody that I want to hang out with all of the time. Everybody is not somebody whose energy pours into me. I don't feel everybody is not a gift to me. I only want to hang out if I feel like you're a gift to me. Everybody is not a gift to me. And so everybody can't see me. This is the conversation. Well, yes, it's a conversation about your future self, but really it's a conversation about valuing yourself. Everybody cannot be around me. Everybody cannot see me. Everybody cannot hang out with me. For how many years? I have been operating from this space of like, come one, come all. And just kind of feeling like I really have to be accessible, and not just accessible in my price and, payment plans and different things like that, but just accessible in who I am. I felt really guilty because I didn't want to do DMs. I don't like DMs. I don't want to do DMs. No, but you have to do DMs because you have to build relationships, because you have to blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do that. I already do enough. You don't have to want to be my best friend. Do you listen to my podcast episodes and get mindset shifts? Do you do the exercises that I am sharing with you in the podcast or through the free resource library and have epiphanies and realizations? And do you feel your energy getting lighter, or do you feel your vibration raising? Do you feel better in the presence of my energy? Do you feel better doing my work? If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You've been listening for at least 31 minutes, right? You already know that there's value here. We don't have to have a personal one-on-one conversation. But I've been feeling so guilty. On YouTube, I used to really have this policy where I used to like and respond to as many comments as possible. Every single comment was either getting a like or a response, even if it was just heart emojis. And even when I was responding with the heart emojis, I would switch up the heart emojis so that it wasn't always the same heart emoji, because then I just feel like that looks generic and it looks like I'm not really like listening and like I don't really care because I just put a red heart emoji. But for this person, now I have to do the pink heart emoji. And then for this person, I have to do like the 3 heart emoji. And then for the next one, we should do like 2 of the 3 heart emojis. Okay, now let's switch over and let's do the blue emojis, like... I'm doing all of this to show you that I genuinely and authentically care and I'm here and like all of this stuff. But that's just more time, energy, and effort. And what did I talk about at the beginning of this podcast episode? I'm getting to a place where my business has to become less expensive energetically. My business has to become less expensive in terms of the energy and the effort that it requires in order to grow, maintain, and scale. It's not a sustainable business model for me to be the woman that everybody has to have access to in order for them to buy, or in order for them to grow, or in order for blah, 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 blah. So... we talked about the banning people. We talked about valuing the energy. We talked about, okay, the conversation with my future self. I feel like there was something else that I was talking about before that, though, that I really wanted to finish. I was having a conversation with my future self. No, fuck it, whatever. Let's move on. So I'm on the side of my house and I'm calling on my future self because I've been just going through so many changes and feeling kind of overwhelmed and feeling kind of afraid to tap into the vibration of my desire. I've just been feeling some pressure and just like, just bumping up against a new edge in every single aspect of life. Getting into the relationship that I want to get into, that's a new edge. Being loved and being intimate with someone, not just in a physical sense, but in an emotional sense and all of this other stuff. Like, that's new for me. I'm pushing up against an edge. And in my business, making more money, working less, expecting money to show up, changing shit around in my business. Like, I'm brushing up against a new edge, showing up in my community and giving more and really respecting myself and perceiving myself as an authority and allowing myself to be perceived as an authority and somebody worthy of respect. I am pushing up against a new edge. And even in my physical fitness, even in my money, the amount of money that I want to have, the amount of money that I want to spend, the things that I want to spend money on, I'm pushing up against a new edge. So there's a lot of shit that's going on for me right now. And it honestly has been feeling really overwhelming. And when I get really overwhelmed, and my nervous system gets activated, I typically will default into a freeze response where I just kind of stop doing things, or I'm having like a functional freeze where like I'm doing some stuff, but I'm not doing all stuff, and I'm just sleeping more often, and my period's like, coming and everything is hormonal. So it's just a lot of stuff has been going on. So I'm sitting with myself on the side of the house and I'm just like, okay, I need to see some things differently. I need to just like shift some stuff. Like, I just need some help. So I'm like praying for help and support and relief and all of this stuff. And then I start tapping into like my future self. I just feel inspired to tap into my future self, like connect with myself across timelines, because I realize that it's an identity thing. I am becoming the woman that I was always meant to become. I don't have to focus on all of these little messes popping up or these triggers. Even though of course we're going to move through this stuff, I don't have to focus on them and harp on them and be afraid. I don't have to be afraid that I might not be able to overcome this. I don't have to be afraid that I might not be able to change this mindset. I don't have to be afraid that things might not be able to shift for me, because I was always going to become the woman who is the owner and operator of a multi-million dollar global brand, right? This business. I was always going to become the woman who is doing XYZ different thing. And so it became an identity shift of like, wait a second, I am just in the middle of a journey towards an experience that I was born to have. Everything is working out for me. I'm right where I need to be, and I'm making progress every single day. I just get closer and closer and closer, and I'm just willing to allow it to be easy. So I end up connecting with myself, my future self, because they already exist. There are infinite timelines that are available. And so the version of myself who I'm choosing to become, she is already in existence. My manifestation journey is not a journey of me trying to make something happen. It's not a journey of me trying to get someplace. It's a journey of me becoming a version of myself who is already in existence. It's me tapping into a version of myself who is already there. She's already established. It's a timeline that's already happening. And so I am just connecting more and more, tapping into that timeline. And as a consequence of me tapping into that timeline, I am becoming more like her, and I'm vibrating more in alignment with her. And as I become more like her and I vibrate more in alignment with her, then her reality must become my reality. My physical reality must shift. That's literally manifestation. So, okay, I'm talking with my future selves, but I don't have a future self in mind specifically. I'm just like, okay, future self, like, help me, help me, help me. I know that you're there. I know that you want to help me. I know that you want me to get to where you are. So help me, talk to me. Like, I just need to talk to you for a minute. Like, we just need to have a conversation. I need you to help me. So I'm calling on the energy of my future selves, and then I just, let it go do my own thing. I wasn't calling on the energy of my future self and then sitting there waiting for information to come through. I just went and I, was minding my own business, watching my own videos, doing my own thing, doing my own mindset work, whatever. So a little bit of time passes, and then I get like these kind of like two versions of myself, these two energies that kind of come through very like clearly. And it's, I don't know how to describe it. Kind of feels like an energy, kind of feels like a vision, kind of feels like an, yeah, I can best describe it as a vision. I don't know what it will look like for you, but for me, it kind of just felt like a vision or like a sense. Sometimes I can see myself in a particular scenario or something. I can't fucking describe it, okay? So I get two versions of myself that come through, and one version of myself, she is pregnant, okay? So this is like the version of myself who is a mother, and I didn't end up spending a lot of time with that version of myself. I've actually been being really sad lately. Um, Not like really like genuinely sad, but just kind of like, oh, because I'm thinking about my career and I'm thinking about all the things that I want to do, and I'm making certain plans and making certain moves, and the things that I'm going to be doing in terms of my career over the next couple of years, I might just have to push back having kids a couple of years into my 30s, which makes me really sad and makes me feel disappointed. And I kind of don't like that idea. So there's a lot that's happening for me around that. I'm looking for creative solutions because I really want to have children, and I really want to have children soon. Like, not so soon that I mean this year, but soon, like within the next couple of years. It's very important to me. So, oh my God, I turned 27 in a couple of months. So within the next couple of years is kind of like 30, but I don't know. Maybe I could see myself having a baby at 29. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy, but also like, oh, I don't know. I can kind of see it. Like, So anyway, I don't know. A part of me just feels like I am leaving my 20s with a baby. I just feel that. Don't know why. I just feel that. I have always felt that. So, oh, the idea of not having kids and waiting a couple of years and putting things off in my career makes me feel bad. But then also thinking about the things that I want to do in my career and the way that I want to be a mom, I don't want to have an experience where I can't be there for my kids because I'm doing different things in my career. Like, that's actually my nightmare. So when I decide to have children, it will be during a time where I can very deliberately be maybe not completely hands off in terms of my career, but I really am going to have the capacity to scale back. Not because women can't have it all, but because the way that I want to be there for my children. I want them to have a very secure attachment style, and I want to be there and soak up all of the beauties of their early childhood development stage. So I don't know. And that was kind of a 2.5, but like that's really what's alive within me right now. I'm thinking about my life, and I'm making different plans and thinking about stuff in my career, and I don't want to push back. I don't want to push having children down on my priorities list because it's actually something that I really, really want to do kind of sooner rather than later. And I actually sometimes get a little bit scared because when I tap into the vibration of certain things that I want to do in my life, I'll like start seeing a vision of me doing something, and then I'll have a baby there, and I'm like, wait a second, why do I have a baby there? I'm not married, and I don't want to have a baby out of wedlock. I'm very clear about that. Let's not even talk about it. We don't even have time. We don't even have time. We don't even have time. So anyway, the pregnant version of myself, I have a vision of the pregnant version of myself, and she just feels adored. That's it. I did all of that conversation to just say like the one thing that came through from that version of myself. And it's just because we did not, it just wasn't the biggest priority for me. Oh my God. There were two versions of myself. The version of myself who's pregnant, and the version of myself who's really killing it, like in like her business and like her wealth. And like I chose to like connect with that version of myself just because that's my number one priority right now. And my pregnant version of self, like, she's so fabulous and she's so amazing. And I just didn't spend as much time with her. So long story short, I'm connecting with the pregnant version of myself, and she just feels adored. Okay. The father of her child just really adores her. She feels so loved. Okay. There's more stuff that was coming through in terms of like, personal relationships that she'll have and different things like that. But again, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it wasn't a big focus. I'm not going to say it wasn't a big deal, but it just wasn't a big focus. And it's so funny because I get so connected with the pregnant version of myself, but I just don't try. It's just something that happens. It's like I start connecting with future versions of myself, and they're like, oh, by the way, you're totally going to have a baby. Or I'll start thinking about my future, and they're like, there's a baby there. And I'm like, well, no, there can't be a baby there. I don't want there to be a baby there. Like, no shade to the baby, but I don't want there to be a baby there. Like, no babies there, please. Please. Please, please. I'm not pleading with you. I'm pleading with my womb. Please, please. So I've actually really been contemplating really saving myself for marriage, mostly because I'm really scared that I might get pregnant. Unconsensually. I'm really afraid that my mind, yes, my womb has a mind of its own, and I really just feel like she will find a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, and that's my fear. So I think I'm just gonna close my legs. I think I'm gonna just remain celibate because I'm actually really afraid. Because I do want to, like, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I do believe in a woman's right to choose. I don't think that I would ever be in a position where I got pregnant and was like, I'm gonna get an abortion. Just not because abortions are wrong or bad or anything like that. I do genuinely and authentically believe in your right to choose. And if you get an abortion, or if abortion is right for you, or if it's medically necessary, or just emotionally necessary, or just financially necessary, then I believe that you should do that. I, however, don't think that I would do that just because I love babies and I want babies. And if I was pregnant, then I would have a baby and I would be so excited and I would be so happy and I would just be so happy that I wouldn't be thinking about anything else. And so I just can't, I don't want to go there. We should never go there. So I don't think I'm getting pregnant. I don't think I'm having sex at all. No, no. I just don't think. I don't think I'm doing that. Anyway, okay. So now that 2.5 is over, I was connecting with my future version of self who is very successful, and so we start talking about business. And one of the things she tells me is that when I think about the business that you're mostly focused on, I think about my business, let's just say Matthews LLC, because the name is so long. When I think about Matthews LLC, I think about that as one income stream of many. We have income from this, we have income from this, we have income from this, we have income from this. We have investments here, we have income from this, we have income from this, we have income from this. I think of that business as one stream of income. It's not even the main thing on my list. And so I'm like, oh my God. Now, this version of myself, this future version of myself, she's not the version of myself that I'm becoming, by the end of the month. She's just the future version of myself that came through because that was the version of me that I needed to tap into. That was the version of me who was going to give me the mindset shifts that were going to help me move through. And she did powerfully give me those mindset shifts. So first of all, she's just like, basically, so I can understand where she is in her life and in her world, she's like, this is one stream of income of many. And so there's a couple different shifts that came through. We were talking about prices. We were talking about prices of like my courses and different things like that. And very clearly, she was just like, I'm Gucci, I'm Louis. She was like, I'm Gucci, I'm Louis. And then we ended up having a conversation about marketing. She's saying, I'm like the company Gucci, I'm like the company Louis. The price is the price. I don't know if Gucci has sales. I don't know if Louis has sales. Does Chanel have sales? I'm pretty sure that's like a popular thing in pop culture. Chanel doesn't have sale, right? Dripping in Chanel, this thing going on sale, right? The conversation is, I don't do sales. Not just that I don't do sales, like I don't discount myself. I actually have a sale that I'm about to run in my business right now. But it wasn't about not doing sales to discount myself. It was about the price is the price. And when I'm thinking about my ideal customer and client, I'm thinking about the woman who can buy this at the price. When I'm thinking about her income, I'm thinking about her income as in she's somebody who can afford the price. If somebody wants to go into Chanel and they don't fit into that income bracket, they're not going to get turned away at the door. However, we're not pricing with somebody who can't afford a $5,000 bag in mind. This is Gucci, this is Louis, this is Chanel. If you only want to pay $100, you can go to... Can you get a Coach bag for $100 still? You can probably go to Coach, which is not bad. If you only want to pay $200, you can go to Dooney & Bourke. All of my designer bags right now are Dooney & Bourke. I am a fan of Dooney & Bourke. I didn't buy any of those bags. They were all gifted to me, but still, I would go out of my way to buy Dooney and Burke bags. I love Dooney and Burke. Okay, this is my perspective, 2.5. I feel like Dooney and Burke is kind of like my mini Hermes. Okay? I feel like it goes, ooh, I can't say this. In my mind, it kind of goes like Dooney and Burke, Fendi, Hermes, in terms of like bag, kind of like bag style. And the only reason why I would put Fendi in there is because I saw this bag and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cute." Like this would be an acceptable alternative to a mini Kelly. Like not a full-on alternative. No, you're right. I lied. Okay, anyway, we don't have time. We don't have time to talk about bags. But the point is, if you want less, you can go somewhere less. If you want this bag, then you can save up however much you can save up for however long you need to save up in order to invest in this bag. However, comma, when I am in the meetings and we are thinking about quarterly goals and we are thinking about ideal clients and we are thinking about ideal customers, we are not thinking about the women who cannot comfortably afford a $2,000 program. They are not on our mind. Not that they're unworthy, not that they're anything negative. It's just they are not our ideal client. And so we're not talking to them in our marketing. Something that has been challenging for me over the past several years is my conversation has been, I wanted to be accessible. And you'll probably notice this maybe over the past year, I stopped really focusing on this is on sale. I don't like that experience where the only time a product is being launched, it's being launched because it's on sale. I don't like that at all. Right now, the receiver's mindset, we're launching it, but I am not launching it and saying you can get this amount of money off. You cannot get money off. This is an amazing program. It is worth every single penny. I love it so much. It continues to change and transform my life. I have been in the receiver's mindset program, and those mindset shifts have been powerfully just like leveling me up over the past several weeks as I've been going through the program. Again, I've been going through all of my programs lately, and God, it's so fucking good. Last night, I was on the side of my house and I was listening to audio from I Can and I Should. Well, the modules from I Can and I Should, right? I wasn't watching it. I just had it playing and going in my headphones, and that is just so soothing to me. Like, I love the sound of my voice. I love listening to her talk and her teach. And when she's sharing these things and she's talking about why I get to receive, and it feels so clear and it feels so obvious. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is so true. And this is so right. And it's just so helpful. So anyway, I am in love with my energy and I'm in love with my programs. And I just don't like the business model of the only time I'm telling you about shit is because it's on sale. I don't like the energy of, buy it now while you can get money off. Buy it now while you can save. My ideal client is not the woman who is going to buy now because there's money off. My ideal client is not the woman who's going to buy now because she's going to save money. That's just not her. So I received some messages and downloads about my ideal client. And then as I was talking with her and connecting with her, she is like really financially abundant. Like she's really wealthy. And so I've been getting these just like realizations and these like shifts. So let's say that she makes like $12 million a year. And let's say that she gets like, is that like, hold on. I have to do the math. Because this specific idea came to me. Yeah, okay, perfect. I am smart. So let's say that she's making like $12 million a year from this business alone, from courses. Let's say every single month she has like 500 students enrolling inside of her course. So every single month, no matter what, she has 500 students or more enrolling in her programs. She's making about $12 million a month through this business. We're not talking about expenses. We're not talking about employees. We're not talking about retirement. We're not talking about any of those things. Just $12 million coming in through sales in her business. And so as I'm receiving these downloads and receiving this understanding, I'm like, oh my God, like not $12 million a year. Oh my God, but 500 students coming into your world every single month. Immediately that put me into a feeling of overwhelm. Like, how do you deal with 500 students coming in every single month and like all this stuff? And she's like, and I'm like realizing and understanding that she has a full on team and there's customer service people and like all of this stuff. She's not doing one on one with clients. She's not doing one on one with customers. She's not doing one on one with emails. She's not doing one on one anything. And so then I'm like, wait a second, but if you're not doing one on one anything, like, don't you feel guilty? Like, your people aren't talking with you. Like, your people aren't connecting with you personally. Like, they don't talk with you. Like, don't you feel like guilty? Doesn't that make you feel bad? That makes me feel bad. Like, my people should be able to like reach me or talk with me or whatever. And she literally just responds to me and she's like, I am a gift. The gift is the content. Every podcast episode is a gift. Every time that people get to hear from me, it is a gift from me to them, from me to the world. Every single post is a gift. Every contribution is a gift. You're welcome. Being in my world and being in my energy and being in my vibe is a gift. And I've been playing around with this energy for a couple of days. And this concept of just getting paid to exist, which I think is going to be a whole freaking training. I don't know. But that solidified things for me. It took me deeper. Because her perspective is like, of course we don't have a one-on-one conversation. You get to be in my world and you get to have access to my energy and you get to learn from me. And you get to do that by paying and enrolling in a course. You get to do that by tuning in and listening to a podcast. And if you listen to all of the podcasts and you want more of my energy, but you don't want to enroll in a course, then you can listen to the podcast episodes again, or you can be shit out of luck. Everything that I do and everything that I offer is a gift. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to talk with anyone. I don't have to respond to anybody's comments. Being in my energy and being in my world is a gift. And this is a shift that I've been playing around with a lot. I was so fucking pissed off over emails like that and the lack of likes on the Instagram. And the thing about the lack of likes is that it's not about money. It's about support. It's not just about support. It's about deliberately not supporting. And how I think that that's weird behavior. I think it's weird for you to watch every single story that I post religiously. When I share a new post and it's a mindset shift, you like the story where the infographic is posted, but you don't click on the post and you don't double tap the post. I do think that it's weird fucking behavior. I do think that it's weird. And maybe people are just disinterested, or maybe they don't care about growth and expansion, or maybe this, maybe that. I don't care. I think it's weird because the way that I operate is when I see one of my friends or something like that across social media and they're posting, I double tap, even if I don't watch the video. Even if I don't read the post, even if I don't blah, blah, blah. If I see it, I'm going to support you because it's easy. It took me 2 seconds. So that idea and concept of just having people who are just fucking around, you're just around to observe, you're just around to watch. I think it's weird for you to be not choosing to support, period. Even if you don't want to like the post, even if you don't find it personally helpful, even if it doesn't change your fucking life, even if it's not your cup of tea, I just find it to be weird not to like, right? So having those conversations with myself and deciding to take down my Instagram, like not delete my Instagram, but just make my Instagram private and stop posting there, was literally like, I don't have to be here. That was the conversation I was having with myself. I don't have to be here. You really need me and I don't need you. And let me explain exactly what I mean by that. I know how to manifest money. I know how to manifest my desires. I am deliberately putting in the work to manifest money and my desires through my business because that's what I want to do, because that lights me up. Am I grateful for the women who are cooperative components and for the women who listen to the podcast, which the viewers and listeners and downloads are going up? Yay. Am I grateful for that? Of course. But am I desperate for any of this? No, because I know how to manifest. I literally was sitting here and I was like, you know what? If I wanted to just be a beautiful stay-at-home wife, I could really do that. And I could manifest all of the money and all of the wealth and all of the everything through my husband's job. I don't have to work. All of this shit is optional. Every single post that I do is optional. Every single email that I send is optional. Every single podcast that I do is optional. Every single thing that I do in my life is optional. When you know how to manifest, it's not a question of if, Burr, but which one. It's not a question of if you can get what you want. It's a question of what do you want. Because I know that I can get whatever I want. I don't have to do anything out of obligation. And the reason I was on Instagram was because of a feeling of obligation. Because a lot of marketing and a lot of the ways that I was originally trained were on Instagram and algorithms and growing and expanding, and this is what you have to do, and this is the engagement strategy and all of this stuff. And then I realized I don't want to grow on Instagram. And if I have a community on Instagram that's not fucking with my shit and not engaging, I don't have to be here. I don't have to be here at all. And so then the conversation became, what do I want to do, and how do I want to give, and how do I want to serve, and how often do I want to serve? And then how much do I want to make? And then I plan accordingly, and then I tap into energy accordingly. Every single thing that I give is a gift. You do not have to be blessed with my presence. And then going back to the whole Instagram story thing, just the people who will sit and watch my Instagram story every single day, every single thing that I share, there's value in that as well. There's value in being able to follow me throughout my day. There's value in being able to see what I'm working on behind the scenes. There's value in being in my life. There's value in me maybe sharing my mindset shifts that I'm going through. There's value in that. And you know that there's value in that because if there wasn't value in that, you wouldn't be there. If there wasn't value in that, you wouldn't be tapping to watch the story. No, you're not watching shit just because you're fucking bored. You're not watching shit at random. Because there's a million other people you could be watching. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Why is that? Because having access to my energy is valuable. Being in my world is valuable. Having access to my energy is valuable. My energy is valuable, period. And so when I'm in a position where I feel like my presence is not being valued, I get to remove myself. I removed myself from Instagram because I don't feel like my presence here is being valued appropriately. You watch every single motherfucking story, but you don't like every single motherfucking post? You're getting and you're receiving value, but you're not pouring back into the queen? I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and remove myself. I literally, y'all, me deleting my Instagram, well, me taking my Instagram and all that stuff down is literally the best thing that I could have possibly did. Because what I wanted to do was go down the list of everybody who saw my infographic and didn't like it and block every single last one of you. That's really what I want. That's really what I was going to do. And I was going to keep fucking doing that shit. And I don't give a fuck. I literally was like, I do not give a fuck if it's just 4 followers on my fucking Instagram. The 4 people that like every single fucking post. Me and my bad bitches against the fucking world. Never gave a fuck. I literally was going to post on my Instagram story. And if you wake up tomorrow and you're blocked because you see shit and you don't like it, don't get upset with me. I don't want to hear shit. But I didn't do that. Instead, I just took the entire page down. Period. Tuelo. Rule number one to be a boss ass bitch. Well, let's not start quoting Nicki Minaj. Let's not start doing that. Yuck. Anyway. So I'm having conversations with my future self, and she's helping me to see things differently. And just tapping into her energy, she just feels more like certain around prices of things. She feels certain around value, and she feels certain around the value of her energy. So the point of today's podcast episode, outside of valuing yourself and treating yourself accordingly, is take some time and open up and say, hey, like, future self, future me who is living my dream life, help me out. Help me to connect with you. Help me to see things the way that you see things. And just sitting and having conversations with your future self will give you mindset shifts and realizations. It will help you to see things differently. She sees things from a different perspective. She reminds me of things that I've known conceptually, but that she's really, really embodied. Like for her, when it comes to sales goals and increasing income and continuing to scale her business, it's not really about survival because she's so safe and she's so secure. She's so safe and she's so secure. Like that's done. That's a sure thing. Growing and expanding her income at that point is just about helping more women. It's just about reaching more women. It's just about serving more women. That's it. It's not about safety and security. It's not about if she's going to be able to do XYZ thing. It's not about if she'll be allowed to. It's not about if she'll have enough to. It's just about serving more women. And a lot of people in the marketing space, spiritual marketing space, will tell you, stop focusing on yourself and just focus on others. And it's not bad advice, but it's not good advice. Because when you're at a place where you don't feel safe and you don't feel secure and you don't feel like you're going to be taken care of, you do need to focus on that first. You do need to focus on safety and security and being supported first. And then from that place, where you feel safe and secure and you feel taken care of, then it gets to be, okay, now how many more people do I want to serve? And what do I want to receive in exchange for how many more people I'm serving? And what do I want to use that money for? Who do I want to help? And how is that going to help me? Then we can have conversations like that. But it's safety and security first. And so that was a really good kind of like refresher, but also taking me deeper, and also just being around her is so helpful. So the thing about energy and the thing about vibration is, as I sat and I talked with myself, which it wasn't just one conversation, it's been a continuous thing where I'm just kind of like consistently coming back and like referencing her energy. It doesn't feel like, what would that version of me do? It literally feels like me going, and what do you think about this? And how do you do this? And how much money do you make? How many students do you have enrolled? Wow, that's a lot. And you don't feel overwhelmed? That makes me feel overwhelmed. You have a whole entire team handling all of this. You don't talk to people one-on-one. You're not giving a lot of one-on-one anything. Everything that you give and you offer is a gift. And you really have strong value of yourself and your energy. And it's not like that version of myself is like, I don't care about the world. It's that she has a different relationship with my community. She has a group of women who she gifts mindset shifts and information to. And sometimes a part of that community looks like scrolling and seeing the supportive comments and saying, oh, I love that so much. But a lot of that personal attention with the community, it's not a part of her life. She doesn't have time. She's also a mother. She's also doing a million other things in business. She's doing a million other things in creatively. She doesn't have time for this. She makes time to give her gifts. She makes time to teach. She makes time to share. And then she lets it go. And she allows the world to like love, honor, accept, and relish in the gifts that she's giving them. Like, she really sees herself as a fucking gift to Earth. She's a fucking gift to Earth. And it is kind of like tapping into that energy, just like a kind of like resistance that comes up in me. Is like, how can you say that? Like, how can you, because the way that I have been like selling up until this point is kind of from an opposite perspective. Even though it's been happening subconscious, how I've been selling up until this point has been kind of like, this is why you should be in my world. This is why you should pay me. This is why this is going to be a really great thing for you. But she is like the complete opposite. Where it's kind of like, you're very welcome that I'm here. You're very welcome that I'm teaching. You're very welcome that I am giving you access to my energy. You're very welcome that you get to be in my world. Because I am valuable. Because I have done a lot. I have healed a lot. I have grown a lot. I have mastered a lot of things. I am incredibly brilliant. Nobody is entitled to being in my world. Nobody is entitled to having access to my energy. I'm not going to beg you to be here. I'm not going to beg you to receive my gifts and my talents and my skills. I'm not going to beg you to be leveled up. I'm not going to beg you to be soothed in my presence. I'm not going to beg you to be around me. I'm not going to beg you to allow me to help you become the leader of your mind so you can co-create the reality of your dreams. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to request it of you. I am a gift to the world. And being in my energy and being in my world, having access to my talks, having access to my teachings, having access to my workshops, having access to my thought process is incredibly valuable. I don't have to give it away. This is a gift. You are welcome. This really is an offering. You are welcome. And there is kind of a charitable element to it because it's the free content. Yes, free content serves to convert people into paying students and clients, but the free content is also charitable work. I'm giving you shit for free. There's no guarantee that you're ever going to pay me. And even if you don't pay me, that's fine. Because I'm going to be a vibrational match to the income that I'm a vibrational match to no matter what. And I'm going to be a vibrational match to the students that I'm a vibrational match to no matter what. So I'm going to give the things that I give out of the kindness of my heart. I'm going to be a vibrational match to the money and the wealth that I'm a vibrational match to no matter what. And if I'm going to grow and expand no matter what, and if my energy is incredibly valuable, then when I am giving and when I am showing up, I do get to show up from that perspective and place of, you're welcome. You're welcome that you get to be in my world. You're welcome that you get to have access to $1 million fucking vibration. There's not a lot of people in the world that will give you that. You're welcome that you get to have access to somebody who will put you on game for free. What can I say except you're welcome? Word to Maui. Is that his name? From Moana. So that's the energy and that's the vibe. So in today's episode, we talked about valuing yourself, next level, valuing who you are, valuing what you bring to the table and how, I didn't talk about how to value it, but when you value it, what happens as a consequence. Everybody doesn't get access to you in the same way. Everybody cannot be in your world. You get to be picky and choosy. And I've also been realizing I don't have to explain why. I get to just say no. I get to just not like the vibe. I get to just, no, thank you. Another 2.5, I've been realizing that I do have to create distance for my own safety and security. Nothing has happened. I'm not in danger. I am okay. Literally nothing bad happened. But I have been realizing and understanding that there are certain people who do and can develop certain obsessions. And here's the thing. Somebody being obsessed with you and stalking you isn't bad when they're hot and when they're sexy. You know what I mean? Like when you're attracted to them. You know, somebody stalking you and being obsessed with you when you don't know them and you've never met them and you don't have a relationship with them and you also don't want a relationship with them, things can get a little bit spooky. And sometimes I don't think about stuff like that. I don't think about there being strangers stalking me. I don't think about that. But lately that has been coming to my attention that you need tighter security. You do need a little bit of distance between you and everybody else. You are a little bit of a celebrity diva, and you have to move accordingly. And so that's also been impacting my perception of my own value. Of like, oh, hold on, I am a little bit of a VIP and I do have to move accordingly. Meaning, in my life and in my world, everybody cannot have access to me. When I start doing live events, it will not be open to the public. When I start doing retreats, it will not be open to the public. It will be something exclusively for more high-paid personal clients, which I don't even have. I've been thinking about opening up my one-on-one coaching again. There will be an application process for that. I have had to let go of my guilt because my guilt feels bad saying, no, we're not a good fit. Who gives a damn? You're going to have to get used to being willing to, unfortunately, hurting some people's feelings or delivering some messages of disappointment. Because no, I have an experience in my life where I just sometimes let people in too quickly, or I let people get too close because I'm just kind of a friendly person. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like we had, like sometimes I hate to say, I never feel like I'm a naive Pisces, but then I think about my behavior sometimes and I go, you know what? You didn't have any business doing that. Like, I have a couple good conversations with someone and I'm like, no, we totally should travel to a foreign country together. Like, oh my God, yes, it'll be so much fun. No, it will not. And no, you will not, because you don't know them. And that's dangerous. Like, no. So I've been realizing I can't do all of the things that I have done. I can't let everybody into my life, and I can't let everybody into my world, and I can't let everybody into my personal world, because your personal relationships can impact your well-being. And valuing yourself looks like removing yourself from certain environments, and it looks like not allowing everybody to have access to your energy. And it doesn't mean that everybody gets cut off. It just means there's levels to this, right? And I think about it in that scorpionic way from the movie Meet the Fockers, where if you ever want to learn what it's like to be a Scorpio, or what it like, if you ever want to really get into the mindset of a Scorpio, just go watch the movie Meet the Fockers, okay? Basically, it's a story of a guy. He's wanting to get engaged to this woman, and she goes to meet her he goes to meet his girlfriend's parents, and his girlfriend's dad is a or is it Meet the Focker? There's two movies. Both of them I really like, but the first movie, the guy goes to meet his soon to be hopefully in-laws because he's going to propose to the woman. The woman's father is like a former CIA agent. And so he's very like suspicious, and he's very like untrusting, and he is like, basically that's it, right? He's a former CIA agent who is very suspicious. And so when the boyfriend comes to meet the parents, the dad is like doing like a background check on him, and like he's like bugging like his room and like all of this shit, right? But anyway, in the movie, there's this thing where the dad is basically like, this is the circle of trust. The circle of trust has me, my wife, my beautiful daughters, and this is you. You are the dot outside of the circle of trust, right? And so basically the whole movie is like this guy trying to get into the good graces of his in-laws and to like basically get into the circle of trust, right? And that's like Scorpio's whole entire thing. There is a circle of trust. And recently I've just been understanding my circle of trust needs tighter security. Not because anybody's bad, not because anybody's unworthy of love, not everything is not always black and white. People are good, people are bad. I don't give a fuck about good or bad. It's not about the morality of anything. It's about how I feel in your presence, and it's about whether or not I want you around. Everybody is not in my circle of trust. I don't care. I don't give a damn. I'm recognizing and I'm understanding that there's levels to this shit. And some people just get to be, further out. Not just like there's a circle of trust and then everybody is outside of the circle of trust, but like there's a circle of acquaintances, and there's a circle of friends, and there's a circle of close friends, and there's a circle of best friends, and you know what I mean? And I've just been changing things around and changing what I'm available for and changing who I'm available for. And it's not about who's good and it's not about who's bad. It's about what I need. Everything is about me, 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 me. 2026 is my year of believing, and it is my year of me. What do I need? What do I require? What do I desire? What I need is more peace. What I need is more time focusing on me. What I need is more time focusing on my business. What I need is more time focusing on my creativity. And what I need more than anything else is people who light me up, people whose energy fucking pours into me and shifts me and makes me feel inspired and makes me feel like I can do anything. And if your energy does not make me feel inspired and like I can do anything, you're not in my circle of trust, and it's not a bad thing, and nobody's unworthy of love, but God, it's just a fucking difference. You know what I mean? There's just a difference in how I feel. And as I strengthen my self-worth and as I strengthen my own personal value, I see and I recognize how I can be that for so many women. I can be that for so many other people, where I can make them feel like their dreams are possible, and I can make them feel like unlimited possibilities for them and like all of this other stuff. But they don't necessarily do that for me in return. And it's not that it's their responsibility to, or that they're not good enough because they don't. It's just the fact of the matter. And I don't have to be around people that I don't feel like bring me that energy. And I don't know how to describe it. It's not something that you do. It's just something that you are. Different people change and shift and elevate your energy in different ways. And it might sound unfair, and I've decided that I don't give a damn, but I think about this guy who we've talked about many, many times all throughout season 4 of the podcast. And when I'm not upset with him, which is happening less and less and less because we're in February 6th and the holiday Hubli Wadi was in November and I found out in December and I was having a really difficult time with that in December and also having a difficult time with that a bit in January. And now as we move through February, I've processed a lot of feelings and emotions and I've shifted a lot of things and seen a lot of things differently. And I'm moving into that feeling of more safety and security again and all of that stuff. And I literally last night was sitting on the side of my house and I was just tapping into his energy and stuff and just like talking and just like thinking about him basically, right? Talking with myself about him and our connection and just thinking about stuff and receiving visions and stuff like that, like tapping into the versions of myself who are in a relationship with him, but also just like the versions of myself who are living in New York and all of the things that I want to create. And I was just thinking about him and I was just like, I love when I'm not mad at you. Like, oh, I love when I'm not mad at you. My favorite time is when I'm not mad at you. I'm having the greatest time of my life when I'm not angry with you. I love not being angry with you, man. Like, we got to do this shit more often. We have got to do this shit more often. We have to have more good times like this, you know? So, when we're having a really good time and I'm tapping into his energy and I'm receiving just these amazing, wonderful visions, I feel expanded, not just expanded for things that I want to create this year, but things that I want to create in 3 years and 5 years and 10 years and all of this stuff. It's kind of like his energy just like adds. His energy adds. Have you ever been with someone? It could be platonic, it could be romantic, I don't give a fuck. But have you ever been with somebody where they expand, their energy like expands you? I can think about something that I want to create for myself. And then when he's there, there's a new layer, there's a new experience. It opens things up and then it adds things to it in such a beautiful way. And things just keep feeling more and more aligned. And I can't give you specific examples because I'm doing something very specific and I don't want to talk about it right now. And that's okay. You'll see it once it's manifested. And then I'll be able to explain to you what my vision was the whole time. And then you'll be like, oh my God, Matthews, I can't believe I ever doubted you, right? But just know and understand, I'm creating multiple things. And this man just aligns so powerfully with the multidimensionality of my being and my interest and the experiences that I want to have and the things that I want to create in my life in this next chapter and beyond. And so that feels really good to me. And it feels expansive to me. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on what expands me. If it doesn't expand me and it doesn't get me excited, and when I'm connecting with you, I'm not getting a million and one different ideas about my future and what I could create and where I'm going, I just don't want to be around. That's it. That's fucking it. And that's the conversation that I've been having a lot with myself lately. I need to focus on shit that makes me feel expansive because I have shit to do. Natalie can't come out and play and talk about bullshit because she has to do her homework. She has lives to change. She has multi-million-dollar businesses to build. She has communities to invest in. She has supportive belief systems to build out. She has conversations with her future self to have. Like, there's just a million and one other things that I can be doing with my life. I'm not doing shit that makes me feel, I don't want to say it makes me feel like these conversations or things like that make me feel miserable, but just like, I'm not doing anything where I don't feel happy. I'm not doing anything where I don't feel joy. I'm not. I don't have to be here. I can create anything that I want and my suffering is optional. And me just feeling bleh in your presence is optional. Me feeling bored in your presence is optional. Me feeling like, I don't like this conversation. Like, it's fucking optional. Me being around people who I don't like their perspective and how they live their life. Like, it's fucking optional. So I'm not going to do it. I'm opting out. And that's okay. And that looks like valuing myself. And that looks like valuing how I feel. That looks like taking my self-worth even deeper and being okay with that. You know how they say everybody's not coming with you? Maybe they're not coming with you and it's not because of them. Maybe they're not coming with you because you don't want them to come. Maybe they will be in your next chapter, but it won't be as a main character, as a main person. For the first time in my life, I'm being really honest with myself about the kind of people I want to surround myself with, the kind of relationships I want to have, the kind of women who I want to know and be friends with, and what they like and what their tastes are, and what they go after in the world and what they believe in and what they fight for, you know? The other day I had a meeting with the founder of a local nonprofit, and she's a Capricorn and I'm a Capricorn moon. And we just sat and the conversation was just like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and just like a fucking game of like ping pong where it's just like, oh my God, yes. And she's like, I get you and I understand you. And I'm like, yes, exactly. And we're talking about the experiences that I had in the high school district, that I graduated from. And I'm saying, I've always wanted to do this powerful work in my community, but I have to do it in this community because of the shit that went down and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I understand completely. And it was just such a great conversation, like a fucking meeting of the minds, like being with somebody, like we're on the same page, like you get it. Like you're down for the community. Like, oh my God, like, oh, my kind of woman. And she literally was like, you're my kind of girl. I'm like, oh my God, no, literally. Like, oh my God, like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Jesus, that we are able to connect and collaborate, do amazing work for the community, but also build a friendship. Like, oh my God, I'm so fucking excited. And then what I left that, because this woman is, I don't want to say her age, but she's a bit older than me, right? She's got a child who's a couple years younger than me. And of course, she's married and her co-founder is there and they're married and like their husbands are friends and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I feel like I can't be single right now. And not like I feel like I can't be single right now, like, not like I feel like I can't be single right now because it's going to look bad or it's going to like damage my reputation. But like, I can't be single right now. Like, I feel like my person should be here. And maybe not here physically, maybe here physically at some point, maybe here physically for some stuff. But I feel like this person should be here because, first of all, oh my God, I have to tell him so many amazing things that are happening on the back end, but also a certain energy of alignment. It feels like the version of me who is connecting with these women and who is working alongside these women is also the version of me who's in a relationship with this man. And it doesn't feel like a requirement from the external world. It feels like a knowing in like my heart and in my soul of like this person is coming in this relationship, and it just feels like a right piece of the puzzle just clicking in. It just feels like alignment. It just feels like when he's not here, something is missing. And it doesn't feel like something is missing in a way where my nervous system is activated and the 2-year-old inside of me is crying and freaking out because she feels neglected and abandoned. It just feels like when you're having a party and your best friend can't make it and you're like, damn, like, I really wish that my best friend was here. I'm having such a great time at my party, but it would be so much more fun if my best friend was here. And so manifesting the soulmate literally just looks like manifesting my best friend to this really cool fucking party that's just going to be even much more fun when he's here. So anyway, that was kind of a 2.5, but really great conversation. Why not? If we're only having these conversations a couple of times every single week, I can sit down, I can pour into you. We can have what I believe to be incredibly meaningful conversation, and every single anecdote and every single 2.5 is full of shifts, whether it's direct mindset shifts being communicated to you, or you being given an opportunity to see how my mind works and how I talk about things, or you just being given an opportunity to sit and be in my energy. I am a woman who has genuinely and authentically done the work. And so what that means is when you come and you sit in my energy, I am like a crystal. I change and shift your energy just by you being in my presence. I don't have to consciously do anything to change your life other than physically get near you. I am incredibly fucking valuable. Oh my God. So there's that. To wrap all of this up, what are we saying? Sit down, open yourself up, and say, okay, higher self, version of myself that I'm becoming. Future version of me, help me. Help me, help me, help me. Help me to get to where you are. I know you want to help me. I know you want to give me information. I know you want to give me insight. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. And then see what comes through. And be willing to be open and to be inquisitive with that version of yourself. And it doesn't have to be so hard and rigid, like, okay, whatever she does, I'm going to do. Whatever her morning routine is, I'm going to have it as a morning routine. You can do that, but that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is literally just sitting and talking and having conversation. How do you see things? And how is it different from how I see things? And as you sit and you talk with that version of yourself, and as you sit and you are in her world, and as you sit and you are in her energy, you're elevating, you're shifting, you're aligning. You're beginning to think like her as she teaches you. You're beginning to speak like her as you converse with her. Naturally, you'll begin to behave like her because you're thinking like her. And of course, your behavior is impacted by your thoughts and your perspective. And as you think like her and you talk like her and you behave like her, you vibrate in alignment with her. You become her, you embody her. And how she is living that reality that she's in, it has to manifest in your physical reality because this is a vibrational reality. This is a reality that is responsive to your vibration. So your mindset work doesn't have to be something hard and rigid like journaling and scripting. I've been really beating myself up because I've been in this kind of functional freeze. So I haven't been in my journaling. I haven't been scripting. And then I was beating myself up for not scripting. So I had to come in with kindness and compassion and love and acceptance. And then I had to open it up and say, okay, journaling's not going to work for us right now. What can we do? And what I could do was put on my coat, go outside to the side of my house in the middle of the night and take a walk outside in the cool air and just have a conversation and talk out loud about my fears, about my wants, about my desires, and then with that future version of myself, which ended up changing my energy so drastically. Okay? And that's what I got for you. If you would like to go even deeper into this work, meaning if you want the practical tools that I am using when I'm journaling or I'm doing my EFT tapping or I'm listening to the workshops that are helping me get all of these shifts, then I highly suggest you check out the Receiver's Mindset course. The reason I was going to say I can and I should is because I was listening to I Can and I Should last night before I had so many powerful realizations and all of this stuff. So anyway, that's the message. Check out the Receiver's Mindset course. It is my 3-module program. It's becoming a 4-module program. It has an abundance of teachings, written text, audios, and videos where I am helping you to build out your self-worth. Your self-worth is how you believe. Your self-worth is defined by how you believe that you deserve to be treated. When you have healthy self-worth, you know that you deserve to be treated well. And when you have that strong, healthy sense of self-worth, at the foundation of your identity is the story that I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. And so when you know that you are an important, important, significant woman who matters and belongs, and you know that you deserve to be treated well, and you have a process for arguing in favor of you receiving anything that you want and desire, you become the woman who knows how to receive on demand. So the receiver's mindset course is the place where you're learning how to strengthen your self-worth, and you're learning how to think like the receiver. In other words, it's a course that's helping you to manifest. It's a course that's helping you to deliberately co-create. But deliberate co-creation is not, I want to say, like the main focus. Like, it is the main focus, but the main focus is self-esteem and arguing in favor of your desire. I don't say manifest, manifest, manifest all throughout the course, but that's what you're doing. You're manifesting. You're arguing in favor of you receiving, you're manifesting. You are teaching yourself and training yourself to be the woman who, when she thinks of her desires, instead of saying, I can't have that because blah, 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 I can't do that because blah, 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 she thinks, I get to have that because this, I get to have that because this, it's showing up because this, of course I get to have it because this. It's becoming the woman who sits and argues for her receiving. And when you're the woman who sits and argues for her receiving, while also having that foundational belief that you're an important, significant woman who matters and belongs, there is nothing that you cannot receive. I genuinely believe that. There is nothing that you cannot manifest, right? Everything is available to you. Everything is possible to you. The I can, stop saying I can and I should. It's because I was just listening to the course yesterday. The Receiver's Mindset program is the place where you learn how to do that. Okay. I love you so much. To learn more about the program and enroll, click the link in the description box or show notes, depending on where you're listening. Be sure to like the video or rate the podcast 5 stars. If you listened to it for nearly 2 hours, you really, really liked it. I pinky swear. So just rate it 5 stars. And if you don't want to rate it 5 stars, then you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to rate it at all. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.